This is vIDLIFT. Thank you for being here. Oh, I can't wait. We got a couple good ones for you today. Let's see what we'll be doing. In case you're first time here, is we'll be watching a 1 minute or less segment of a video submitted by one of our viewers, and that could be you. Pinned in the comments is our email address, and that will tell you how you can get your video on this show. We'll be watching, we'll take turns after watching the 1 minute clip. We'll take about 2 or 3 minutes mentioning what we liked about it and 1 or 2 things that might be considered as an idea or options for next time. And that's where we all learn together. Then we'll watch the video again, and after that, have a short roundtable discussion where we can all see what we all thought a little more deeper into it and look at the comments from you, the viewers, because we want to hear your critical thoughts and see what we can do together. And if we do constructive criticism as a group, we're all going to learn. And that's how we lift each other up and learn about making better videos. We do 2 videos per show, and the links of these videos will be in the description. Say hello to the panel one by one. Let's start with, oh my gosh. Hey, is that Steve Turtle? It might be if he unmutes.
That Carl, that was Carl. He did that. He tricked me.
Oh, I'm glad you swapped places with him.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so good to be here. It's what, Tuesday night, right? It's
Tuesday night.
Man,
yep.
I just, for some reason, I've lost track of time. I thought it was Wednesday, but anyway, it's great to be here. I'm down here in Florida Panhandle. We're camping at a pioneer settlement. You wouldn't believe it. I saw Daniel Boone and Davy Crockett the other day, and somebody rode by on an oxen. But anyway, I'm having a good time down here, and I'm going to do a couple of videos about some stuff that we're going to do. We're going to have a peanut boil. So if you've never eaten boiled peanuts, come on by. It's happening this Saturday. But that's not why we're here. We're here to review 2 great videos, at least a minute of each. And we're going to comment about it, and we're going to have a good time. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I think there's 2 other guys coming up. Hold on.
Oh my gosh. It's McGuire's on tires.
I see what you did there. I am so glad to be here with the great Donovan, RV on the Wayside, and the great Steve Lizard from Steve Lizard Channel. It is so great to see you guys. I'm glad everybody has clothes on this time. You look a whole lot better. I'm so proud of you. I am Scott from McGuire's on Tires, and my family and I like to travel in our RV just anytime we are able to get a chance to get out on the road. We record what we do, and we share it on the YouTubes with all of you, and we thank you so much for your support and for hanging out with us. And we do a little live show on Monday nights. Don't check it out, though. It's awful. And we love being with you on Tuesday, and we're learning so much. And I figured out why the rest of the panel, the esteemed panel, have invited me to be here. It's because they got tired of seeing my videos be so awful, and they figured if I was here enough, I might learn something and make some better videos. Thank you for having me.
I don't know if you guys know this, but our third guest is a celebrity. I don't know if you guys have seen, he has a new movie on Netflix called Sweet Girl, and he has a TV series going on Apple TV called See, and he's played Aquaman. Hey, everybody, welcome, Jason Momoa.
Hey, y'all, long-time listener, first-time caller. So glad to call in today. I love talking about the making of videos and movies. I don't know if y'all have seen, I've done some commercials where I advertise that red camera. Man, that thing is awesome. You know, sorry, something's wrong with my voice. I got to try to. Hey, guys, how's it going? What y'all think of my movies? You like them? You know, I used to be on Baywatch with short hair. I was real skinny back then.
It's funny. I'm sorry. It says Dave, Texas Family Camping. I thought, well, you know, you're kind of a celebrity too. Why don't we just go with you?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? That was improv as improv could be. Oh, and I've got a puppy here. Hello, puppy. Oh, nice puppy. All right, maybe we should roll some videos.
I'm Donovan, and I'm from RV on the Wayside, and we try to make entertaining videos, and I'd only put them out when I'm really happy with them, so they take forever, and that's my excuse for this week. I'll have another one for next week.
But the good news is he doesn't wait for the rest of us to be happy with them, so he goes ahead.
I keep taking all the critiques, and every time we want to do a show, I have to go back and change a bunch, so they never get good because I keep learning something new every week, and that's why this happens. I think we should watch a video. What do you think? All right, so our first video is from the JAG family, and they have a great little treat for you, and let's see what they delivered.
I'm going. I'm going as fast as I can.
Turn around. Right there behind us.
I'm trying. Hey guys, so we're kayaking right now. We're kayaking right now, and I'm with my dad. My sister's with my mom, and we are about to go to a corner to jump inside the lake. So stay tuned if you want to see that. And I didn't know that my mom wanted to go kayaking on Mother's Day, but I just thought she wanted to go on another day, but not today. So.
Oh man, that's adorable. Steve Turtle, what do you think?
I thought she was going to go on some other day, not Mother's Day, just another day. No, I thought the little girl was cute. I think she stole the show a little bit. First off, I don't know if you picked up on it, but I noticed a good bit of static in their speaker or in the microphone. Believe me, I've had my fair share of problems with static and speaker problems. I don't know. It's difficult because you don't realize it while you're doing it, and you get back home and you've got this B-roll and this video, and it's got a little bit of every once in a while, and it's very frustrating. Then you got to decide, do I show it? Do I not show it? Same thing with like wind noise. But anyway, I heard that a little bit off and on throughout the video. I think as a very, very good hook, I would like to see maybe you take the first minute out of the video, not part that we watched, but the first minute, and then the minute that we watched, right where she says, I'm going, I would start the video right there. That's a really cool hook. You don't know what's going on. She's in the water. She's in a kayak, and you really can't tell if she's all alone. I mean, she could be by herself for all you know. But I thought that was really good, hook. And then if you felt strong about the beginning where you're talking about, where you're at and what you're doing and all that, maybe plug that in afterwards. But then where she goes, wait, let me then pick back up with the part where she says she starts talking about what they're doing and everything else. And she throws in a hook and she says, yeah, stay tuned because we're going to jump in the water later. And I was like, go ahead, hook it. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I mean, I really enjoyed seeing the girls do the video because that's something different, That's it.
That last thing Steve said there is what we've done. People don't tune into our channel to see the old folks. They tune in for the cute kids. Maximize what you got. And because not every YouTube channel has that available to them. So use it. And I mean, if the kids are enjoying it, there's going to come a time where they say, I don't want to do this video. And that needs to be, okay, don't do this video. But as long as they're enjoying it, maximize it. Or do like I did in a recent video and show well, this is what it looks like when your child turns 13. And then I panned over and we got to see Chloe like grabbing the camera and shoving it down. She was messing with me that day. But I really, really, really super duper liked the hook that Steve talked about when she said, yeah, if you want to see that, stay tuned. Man, that was genius. I would have capitalized on that. She's talking about we're looking for spots where we can jump in. Show some of the spots that you're looking at. This one's not going to work because there's a rock over there and we'll bust our head. This is not going to work because it's too deep and we're not sure what's down there, or it's too shallow and we're going to maybe break our legs or something. But show, put some B-roll on top of it. But she did a great job with what was going on, with telling us what was happening there. I am of this panel, I am the newbie to movie making. So I don't have a solution for the microphone issue, except in the first part. When she's talking, I'm going to have to leave it to one of these other guys. But before she's talking, you can take the audio out, get the little bit that's clean of the water and the paddle, and just put that underneath and just play that over and over, and we'll have no idea. That'll get rid of that. But when she's talking, I don't know the solution for that. I think what I would do, my first go-to always, is put some music under it. And it's not going to totally hide it. You're still going to know it's there, but it's not as abrupt on your ears. Just put a little bit of music under the narration. But those, I think, like I said, you are maximizing and capitalizing on the thing that your channel has that a lot of channels don't have. That's really smart. Good for you.
I personally would have liked to have seen some more B-roll on it. I thought that the shots were great. The camera looks terrific. Yes, the mic was a little scratchy there, but even a lot of times you can get into situations like this where you're dealing with water and things like that. And obviously you don't want to go grabbing your expensive mic and take it out on the kayak with you, because that just don't do that. Make sure that your microphone can handle it. You're not going to damage it, because you don't want to put yourself through that. So I felt, though, like if you would have got a few extra shots that you could have just kind of laid over the top, like while she was talking, would have gone a long way. I think it's great to use her, letting her talk, and it is really neat. It's amazing how these youngsters just know. They've been watching enough YouTube. They know the little catchphrases to say. They're talking about subscribing and thumbs ups and bells and whatever kind of hook. They're so used to that now. It's like a part of, reminds me when I was a kid and everybody was like, oh, he grew up with a keyboard and a mouse. So, yeah, now the kids are growing up with how to make a YouTube video. But I think that y'all did a great job. I thought it was an intriguing video. I love the fact that y'all are out there in the inflatable kayaks, which is something we want to invest in. So it piques my interest. I'd like to follow these guys a little bit more, because they're using something and doing something that I'm interested in, and I want to know more information. So I realize that's kind of a specialty type of item, but sometimes that's what you need, though. Sometimes that's how you find your followers. You go with products and things that you're using and get people to buy into your channel with that. How about you, Donovan? You got any input?
So fun. I love seeing kids doing something for the first time kind of thing. At least that's what it felt like, right? I'm going as fast as I can. I mean, how do you not start smiling right away? Because it's not going very fast, but boy, she's trying to go as fast as she can. I love that. I loved her hook to keep us to the end. I thought that was great. I thought those were good ideas about maybe putting those as the opener. I really like that concept. Something I'll mention right before we go and watch it the second time. I would have liked to seen some interesting shots. Like, we didn't see where you were heading. We didn't see where you were traveling toward. And I'd like to seen a shot off the side where you saw just the oar going through the water, maybe, and maybe even move it with the oar. Your camera, have it move with the oar. That'd be a kind of a cool shot. Just so anytime you're filming fun things like this, don't forget to just, once you're in the quiet moment, take a moment to film some of those little things that an angle you would not normally even think about. What weird way could I film a little kayaking? Because that's great little spots to put in between segments. So give me just one quick second to pull this up. the reason why they sent this in was, got to get to them. So they said that they've been having a little trouble that, let's see, our video I selected was not our worst per the algorithm, but not the best. It seems I lose people's interest in the beginning since my percentage of watch drops between 30 and 20% after the first minute or two. The minute I'd like you to review is between 1 and 2 minutes. It drops about 58 to 42% and continues to drop about 4 minutes where it levels out at 26%. So as you guys are watching this the second time, maybe kind of start thinking a little bit about that kind of information. So why do we think that maybe it might change at this point? And let's watch it again. Here we go.
I'm going. I'm doing as fast as I can.
Turn around. Right, they're behind us.
I'm trying. Hey guys, so we're kayaking right now. We're kayaking right now, and I'm with my dad, my sister's with my mom, and we are about to go to a corner to jump inside the lake. So stay tuned if you want to see that. And I didn't know that my mom wanted to go kayaking on Mother's Day, but I just thought she wanted to go on another day, but not today. So
What do you think, David?
Hey, fresh off that rewatch there and what they had said in their email about that drop, I would say between the length of the cuts and the sound would be enough to make people that don't care click off. So if you got your fans that care, they'll stick with you. But people that don't know who you are, it's easy to lose interest since you've gone way past the 5-second mark on some of those clips. And I would try to get it down to 3 seconds on those clips, or even some of that stuff, use it as the B-roll over when she's talking.
Can you explain your seconds thing? Because the JAG family, I think it's the first time they've been on our show. So,
okay. So typically what we've learned in the past is that people, if a segment goes longer than 5 seconds, people tend to lose interest real fast. Unless there's something going on real fast and action-wise that would keep them there, their mind tends to drift. So even if it's little things you can do, like a slow move in and out or a slight cut from a possibly different angle, whatever that is, that helps keep people interested so they stay on there. So your clips at first definitely went over the 5-second mark, and so then that allows the average viewer to just kind of start to drift in their interest and possibly click off of your video.
I see in the comments, Jag family said it might be they weren't interested in what she was saying. I don't think it's that. I think she's providing good information. She's about cute as can be, and it's providing a story. People watch for a story. I think it's a technical thing. I think it's what Dave said, or a sound issue. For me, I would have clicked off because it was making me nauseated. It was no, for real. Like I never hear anybody else say that, but when I watch, I'm holding a phone and it's like this close to my face because I can't see anything. So I'm holding a phone and I feel like I'm in one of those surround IMAX theaters. So if it starts getting jittery, like it hurts me. The next video is that way. And he does great videos, but it was hurting me to watch it for too long. And like I watched it on my laptop and the screen is like this big and I've got my face up in it watching. I would have clicked off just because it was kind of jerky. And I think once you said, once we got going and you realized you were about to film, I would have stopped paddling because then you're just smooth coasting across the water and you could have filmed her without the jerky. So between the microphone, the clipping, the length of the clips without some B-roll in it, and whatever it was I just said, I think that's why I would have clicked off. It's certainly not, it's not the talent. she's got it. She's doing the right stuff for sure.
One thought I thought of is the first time she repeats herself. Just cut that part out. I mean, we do it to ourselves all the time. If I repeat myself in a video, that part's gone. I just take one out, just make it a quick cut, and just go right on to the next thing. I don't even worry about it. I don't care how it looks. A quick cut hardly even interferes, and it does feel like something changed also. So that wouldn't hurt. I'd have used the first time she said the phrase and then cut out the second one and bleed right on to the third one. I wouldn't even keep it the second one normally you'd keep, but then it's too long without something happening. So it was an opportunity to use the first one, cut out the second one, then keep going. And remember, you can zoom in a little bit and zoom out a little bit. That's another thing that Dave was talking about every 5 seconds. Maybe zoom in a little bit and zoom out a little bit. You're going to see some of that here in a little bit. So I don't think it has anything to do with her or what she was saying. And I don't think it was definitely interesting. I mean, it made us all laugh. So, I mean, obviously that part was working. You got to just try to keep the scenes moving. I think it'd really help.
Yeah. What Donovan said, you got to keep it quick, short. Even if everything that she said you wanted to have on the video, as she's talking, you can lay some B-roll over top of that and show some of the things that she's talking about. So it's not that you have to sacrifice that, because I thought she did a really good job. Obviously, she grabbed the camera and she's talking, and she vlogged very well. So later on in the video, they're getting ready to jump into that spot, and that's a pretty good segment as well. I enjoyed that. It's difficult. It's difficult to grab somebody's interest and drag them along in your videos. But you just have to, as much as possible, keep it fast, keep it snappy, and if you can create that intrigue, that wonder, that I don't know what's going to happen next, that's that'll help you out as well.
JAG family, it's cool that you looked at your analytics and you knew where it dipped, and you had a thought as a hypothesis as to why the dip was there. And now you've got 4 people in agreement that it's something else. I would be interested if you'd be willing, when you make your next video, if you put these things in, the things that we're telling you, I would love for you to submit that one, and let's compare and see what the analytics look like and see what the difference in the video is. That would be really cool to see, if you'd be willing to share that with us.
These guys all just touched on something else. When I was talking about getting a shot of the oar down below or something like that, or maybe the view over at the mom paddling, have her still talking, but just cut to that a little bit with her voice still going, and then come back to her. Those are great ways to keep that going, and it really will keep people's attention. I mean, I love it when people are talking. We get a couple shots, they're still talking, it comes back to them. It just feels like you're sitting there with them. You're looking outside, yep, and then you look right back at the person. It's a great feeling in a video. So I thought that you guys are, and plus, I got to tell you, they're a fairly new channel. They got 168, I believe, subscribers. So if you guys don't belong to them, let's follow them now, because this is a great way to get started. I hope you guys come a lot, and I hope you come often, and I hope you know that when we make fun of things, it's usually just each other.
Let's say they got a Moab trip coming up. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
You weren't invited, Dave. Stop looking forward to it.
This is what I'm talking about. All right, you guys, let's see, anybody, let's see, a couple comments. Go ahead, Steve, while I pull them up.
Have we got a second? Doreen made a comment. She was dropping some B-roll into her video, and she said, hold on a minute. I think when I add a photo in Filmora, it automatically puts the clip at 5 seconds.
Interesting.
Now you can squeeze that. I mean, you can cut that shorter, or stretch it and make it a little longer, depending on what it is.
Yeah, and Filmora basically knows right off the bat that's aimed for that.
Yeah.
And with B-roll, keep in mind, you can take some of those segments and you can speed them up just slightly to get the whole thing in there, and it won't be too noticeable. Or if it's too short, you can slow it down just a little bit and stretch it out. And that's a way you don't have to have 5 seconds. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if the clip is too quick, just stretch it a little bit, slow it down a little bit. Or if it's just too long, maybe shrink it just a little bit and find the best segment of it you like.
That's interesting. Doreen shared 5 seconds for Filmora. The iMovie default is 4 seconds. I think I always pull it down just a little bit.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you so much.
Hey, absolutely. You know, it's all about it's really all about everybody. You know, there's people in the chat with comments. You know, we make our observations and we say what we think. But the whole idea is that everybody gets a little bit better and take what fits for you and use it. And we appreciate you guys for submitting a video.
Yeah, that's some great advice there by Matt. So B-roll helps. You can take a pan of mom sitting in a chair, not even kayaking, and use it as a B-roll. It all works, right?
Sure.
It's Mom's Day. Just show mom in a chair. I mean, when she says that, that's a great cut to her. I mean, these are fun ideas. I love it. Great job. All right, you guys ready?
Always.
Then everybody snap your fingers. 3, 2, 1. Oh, anybody that knows the art of RVing. Mark is a hoot. David, what do you think about this good section of B-roll here?
Well, I think he's the guy that we learned the 5-second rule from, and he's got that down. But I'm sitting here, you know, we're talking about, you know, shaky cam and getting a little nauseated, and I'm like, what is going on? Who's holding the camera? And then once I see the guy driving the big wheel, but guess what? When he's driving the big wheel, the camera's steady, probably because the tripod's holding it. So I know what's going on, Mark Bailey. Woo, woo, woo. I wish Mark was here to feel the burn. I think Mark is a professional photographer. He works with cameras. He knows what he's doing. But I think that the day he filmed this, maybe he was watching a little too much Michael Bay movies. Maybe some Keanu Reeves movies. He was just taken in from other directors. You know, the shaky cam's not good for us, man. It's not good. Hey, but if you need an extra camera person, Kira, my daughter, she is great at shaky cam footage. How about you, Scott?
Yeah, that, you know, I say it every couple of weeks. That's a big one for me. I can't do it. I have to click off. Yeah, I can't watch those. And which is crazy because I watch his videos and I don't think they're normally like that. But what he's the master of is the fast cut. You're not going to stop watching because it goes from one to the next, to the next, to the next. I would have liked it if it were time to the music. Maybe that's just me. I think that would have drawn me in, just made it a little more cohesive. I would have enjoyed that a little more. And I'm curious what his analytics look like when he gets to this segment of the video. For me, when I get to a segment where I'm just trying to show some B-roll with nothing propelling the story forward, I lose viewers. They skip ahead to the next talking head portion. And what I've started doing is like what we were talking about in the last one. I let the talking head keep going. And if I want to show all those videos, I show those clips as the talking is going. And it doesn't give somebody a chance to click off because they're seeing all of the fast clips and they're hearing the story being told. And all of a sudden now my analytics do this instead of a big drop and then pick up at the next talking head. I'd be curious to see what his analytics did right there. But, you know, I always love Marc's videos. It's the it's that darn Gus that gets me though. If y'all haven't gone to see Gus, don't. He's awful. He's just a terrible person. How about you, Sally Jesse?
Steve Lizard here. Steve Lizard here. All right. Marc, don't hate me, bro. Don't hate me. No, you know, 2 pots of coffee. I watched this clip and I got through it. It was pretty much a minute of B-roll. It was interesting. The Ferris wheel was about to fall over. The airplane was about to fall over. Wait. There was a golf course, Ripley's headshot. I don't know what Marc was on top of. It looked like a big body. Transformer, Titanic, Mount Rushmore, camera, jet, bus. But the icing on the cake was Marc driving the bus. Now, you know, Marc does that on purpose. He gives you 5 seconds of B-roll and he twists the camera just a little bit because it causes you to think about what's going on. And in some cases, people look at it and they go, you know, I can't stand it. I feel like I'm on the Titanic. But it does give you, it gives you a different perspective. It's the same thing as if you zoom in and zoom out, you know, and it changes what the viewer is watching. I think if the B-roll had been a little more interesting, it would have been better. But I agree with Scott. I think if you start talking about those things as you are doing it, even if it's a voiceover, it helps keep people there because they want to hear what you say, not necessarily what you see. You know, even if in Marc's style, even if you go, yep, I didn't see that. Yep, I didn't see that either. Yep, we didn't have time for that. You know, at least people are following along. So, you know, it's B-roll. I wish he'd have picked another clip because I watched the whole video and, you know, it's typical Marc and it's good. I love it. I love him and Carrie and the exchanges they have. She's always asking Marc to let me talk. But if you guys haven't seen Marc, you got to get over here and check him out. He's a nut. He's even got personas. You know, I don't think he has 8, but he's got Gus and, you know, some hillbilly thing. And I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It was a little bit too much. It was a little bit too much B-roll for me without something else going on. But I did love Marc driving the bus. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, Uncle Billy. That's who you were thinking of, Steve. So I just like to point out that, you know, I don't really mind that kind of thing, but all right, let's be honest. First of all, this was a Branson trip. And so they were seeing all this crazy stuff along the road and they were getting shots of all of it, right? And I'm all for doing that. I really would like Marc to invest in a gimbal just for a few shots different, you know? I mean, and it's hard to get the gimbal to actually do that a little bit, right? But if you're slow enough, you can get it to go with you. I mean, if you're fast enough with a gimbal, you can get it to go with you. I love the changes. I love the things we saw. I love the little bit longer segments than the 5 segments. I wish when he was standing behind the thing doing this with the big body that you walk in behind, not that he was on top of it or anything. But when he's doing that, I mean, it's hilarious. That's Marc. We love him. I enjoyed impersonating in one of my videos. I did a whole video just impersonating Marc. And I thought it was a blast to do because he's a funny guy. But he loves to impersonate other people. He does antique RVs, all that kind of stuff. I would like the shaking just to be a little less. I really would. And you know what I do like? There's other segments in there where he's walking around in a store and then he zooms in on stuff and then he zooms back. And those kind of things, when you're manually zooming, I thought that was fun stuff too. So I'll tell you what, let's hit it again. And don't worry, Scott, you'll be okay. I promise.
Hey, Steve Turtle, Edna wants your glasses back.
Jeez. By the way, the segment was selected by me, just so you know. He said, I wanted one of those fast-paced segments, so that's the one I picked.
Really? Because that email about you in Times earlier, what was that about?
I put out one with the first minute, and that was by accident. I forgot to adjust the time before I hit send.
Well,
Y'all, we got 3 emails today from Donovan.
Oh my God! Really? This is what this is about?
Use this one. No. Use this one. Finally, I said I don't know what to use, and clearly he doesn't either.
Wait till 7 o'clock and then use that one.
I was trying to get him out early because poor Scott whines if he can't see it soon enough in the day.
It's difficult.
And it is. It's difficult to make you happy. That's why I took 3 emails.
Yeah. You know, Donovan, you made a point, and I think it's a very, very good point. You know, a lot of times we're looking at a 1-minute segment of a video, and it doesn't comprise the whole video. So, you know, you got to take that in consideration. We can't necessarily watch a 16-minute video and comment on all of that. So, you know, 1 minute, it gives you an idea. We talk about a subject and things that, you know, you may or may not want to do next time. It doesn't have to do with the whole video. And the bottom line is look at your analytics and try to go from there. So don't hate me, Scott or Mark. Don't hate me.
Well, I took out the part where Carrie's, you know, hitting him because he keeps pushing her out of the frame, and you know, I took those parts out. You know,
I love it. I think it's great. Their chemistry is great. I love it when she goes, "Let me talk."
They don't get enough of their live show anymore now that they stopped doing it.
Yeah, that was a great time.
I think it was the counseling they had to go get because she kept trying to touch the mouse. That's a no-no.
Yeah, you can't be touching. You can't touch the mouse. Leave my mouse alone.
We're
Which
2 minutes
Carrie are we
behind.
talking about here?
We're 2 minutes behind, everybody.
Hey
2
guys,
minutes
we need
behind.
to speed.
If you guys haven't been to McGuire's on Tires live on Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Time, you need to go check that out.
It's
live on Tires.
Yeah, let me tell you, Sophie steals the show every night. I just gotta say,
she did last time too.
I was taken as he was some of the things you see when you're in a place like Branson, or it looked like Pigeon Forge to me. When you're in a place like that, some of the things you see are like movie things. And to put it in context, a little bit of, I hate to say it, a little bit of B-roll on top of the B-roll to show, oh, here's the bus. Here it was in the movie. Now back to the bus, and here's Mark wrecking the bus. But just you know, that would have, I think, enhanced it just a little bit.
And just so the JAG family knows, don't worry about them missing this. He'll watch it later, and we're liable to see a video with Gus and Uncle Billy screaming and yelling and tell about how big of idiots we are. So don't worry, he'll get his say.
Our phones are going to blow up with nice text. Don't worry.
Gus, the Krabby Camper is coming for us now.
Oh man, that is something else. The other thing I like his quirky music. He does that a lot in his B-rolls, and he does it a lot when he's interviewing people. And it really, even though it's not my style for video making, it really hits home when he does it, because that is his style. It is quirky. And I thought the music was great. Now our music man here mentioned that, it's not on a beat or anything. If you went on a beat, I think we would have needed a whole lot more things to see, although there'd be less shaking.
I also noticed a couple of times there were dark edges around the edge of the video. Was that from the car window, or what was that?
I'm not sure. I noticed it too. It was like a halo effect.
But it was
in
dark.
The corners.
Real dark. Yeah.
Was it soft, or was it an actual shape? So what happens sometimes if you're using a good camera and you've got the variable ND filter, where it's like the sunglasses for your lens, and if you don't get it right at the right setting, you can wind up with these dark spots in the corners from twisting that around. And I've seen that on a few of my videos, and that's why some people, I think they pay more for ones that have a notch to turn it to prevent those dark spots. I don't have that kind of money, so mine are cheap, and I wind up with dark spots occasionally.
I think if it were me and I were to have caught that in my video, which I won't because I don't have such fancy cameras as some people. But if I were to have caught that when I'm editing, I might would have zoomed in just this much to cut that off the edges.
I don't know if you watch this whole video, there's something else that Marc is amazing at is transitions. He's always experimenting. There's a couple times where he sees an object and he goes all the way in until it's super blurry. And then when he comes out, it's a different object.
And you're looking from the other side.
Yeah, it's just, or it could be on the other side. Yeah. He's always doing fun things like that just to experiment.
Did you catch the window?
Yeah.
He's on the outside of the camper. He zooms into the window to a reflection, goes blurry, and then the next one, he's looking out the window.
Yes.
Y'all, if you've not seen the whole video, go check out the whole video. The link is in the description. And while you're there, go just pick a few videos, 2, 3, 4 videos, because really this photography is what Marc does for a living. So he's got the eye for it. And you might steal a couple of ideas from him. I mean, we pick on him, but he's darn good at what he does. So go check out a couple of his videos. He does a great job.
Yeah. And also remember, Marc's awesome, but Carrie, yeah, she'll steal the show.
They had a live stream once where she was missing, and Marc spent the entire hour explaining again and again and again why she wasn't there, because everybody's just there to see Carrie.
Yeah, if somebody new came in, he'd tell the story again. He was good at that.
Carrie? Where's Carrie? Pin it to the top.
Location. When you guys are going to shoot a spot where you're going to talk, what do you look at for a location to talk from? I'm just curious, like, it doesn't even matter what kind of video. Do you looking for something fancy in the background? Do you want busyness? I'm just curious. Steve, what do you look at for a location when you're going to do a little narration of something?
Well, and I do that a lot. So, a lot of my videos, I'll narrate portions and then put in B-roll to support it. But I try to mix it up. So I might pick 5 different locations that I'm going to talk through what I'm doing, just so it's changed up and it's not, 15 times the same location. But yeah, I try to find something that's going to fit the story. In some cases, I try to have it plain because there's really nothing around me that I wanted. I don't know. It's it doesn't have a point. The story doesn't have a backdrop, and I'll make it plain. And then other times it'll have, something to support the story. Here, I think it's amazing because at the Pioneer Settlement, I've got a lot of, really cool backdrops to support the Pioneer story.
And you're seeing ghosts.
Yeah. Well, before I leave here, I want to sleep in every one of those cabins.
Whether somebody's there or not.
Yes.
I couldn't even say it. I was laughing too hard.
Yes.
One thing, when you do pick your backdrop, like say you're at a museum or an amusement park or somewhere with a sign, folks will see the sign. And because if you were going to take a picture of it, you'd center the picture. You then put yourself right in the middle of the sign. And so as you're watching the video, you can't see what the sign says. It's okay to put yourself on the sign, on the side, and there's the sign in the background. Even if it's not the whole sign, you're seeing the bulk of it. So experiment with putting yourself in different locations. And that way you can see more of it. You don't want to block right in the middle of it. And what you certainly don't want to do is whatever the heck that is.
You are correct, Scott. You can always be over on one of the thirds and be able to get whatever sign or whatever backdrop that you want to get. I think that's an outstanding way to show what you're trying to show.
Did you hear that, Dave? It's outstanding.
My dad tells me I have a good understanding. That's just because I have big feet.
David, what do you look at for locations when you're going to have to narrate a little bit for a backdrop?
I would like something behind me other than just a brick wall, a TV, and a black curtain and some wires. That's what I'd prefer. And really what I've learned, and it does help, is to try and change your background. So I think when I first tried that, I think it was really successful. I kept people watching because we were at a campground at a state park, and I would say like 2 sentences from my script. It was in my head, but I had a story I wanted to tell, and then I'd pick up the whole tripod and I'd shift it and just kept it moving. So behind me was swamp, trees, the restroom, our RV, an empty campsite. It just kept moving. And I really think that helped to keep the people watching because it's like, man, the background behind them just keeps changing. So that's what I'm trying to do.
So you guys have helped me with this because when I did my last video, the green screen video, I actually changed the background, even though it was green screen background when I did it. But it's because of watching you guys. When I first started, I used the same background. If I'm outside talking, that's the same one I used all the way through. And it never occurred to me to go stand over there. But the only thing I do really find important is make sure the light is in front of me. Sometimes it's okay if it's like off to the corner or something, and you get that little shine glare going through. And of course you can do that in editing if you have the software to put fake glares and stuff in there. That's fine. But I always like to make sure I don't have the light behind me where it's making me look too dark or something. So I try, unless I have a portable light with me and it's daytime, I'm usually going to keep shifting so the light's in front of me. So yeah, the multiple locations, you guys helped me with that. That was great.
And when I do that, I always pre-check. If I can't see my face in the camera, I'm not going to use that shot. I'm just move on to the next one. So I don't start filming until I can actually see, like, okay, this is what it's going to look like. All right, now I'll start talking.
So Dave, when you do that, I've seen some of your videos where you do shots of the girls by the horse and the different animals and things like that. How do you decide? Do you sit there and they just keep doing the same thing over and over until you get the shot and the light angle you want, or do you just run over to an angle and start filming?
Well, like, you're thinking of like recently when our girls were riding horseback.
Yeah.
I try to think about, because that was our first time where I've really been able to do so much with horses. So I try to think about shots I've seen other people do with horses. And believe me, if it's the first time of me filming something, I'm going to get a lot of footage. That's going to be more work for me to sort through it later, but I want to make sure that things are going to be in focus, things are going to land in frame how I want them. So I kind of have a vision of what I want that to look like. But like I said, if it's going to be my first time in a scenario, I'm going to get extra footage. So if I've done it before, really the whole thing?
No, right. You said before, right? When you said that's when it went away.
Okay. Now, if I've done it before, then I usually can just walk straight up to something, get the footage I need, not do a bunch of them. Like, I know how it's going to turn out.
So, Scott, when you do it, because you do a lot of outside stuff too, do you just film everything and then just take out the ones where the light was bad, or do you actually try to get in position?
I have gotten better about being cognizant of that, but most of the time it's just filming everything and then cutting out what I can't use. Desert Adventures in Arizona said sun glare is tough to deal with sometimes. I mentioned that, we just watched Marc from Art of RVing. I mentioned that to him one time. He said, go ahead, film right into the sun. I thought he was joking. Then he kept talking. He's being serious. Try it out. And it was about Thanksgiving time last year. I remember we had a trip over Thanksgiving and I intentionally filmed into the sun a couple times. He said, go ahead and try a couple of shots. And then when you get back and you start editing, if it's no good, don't use it. But you'll be amazed what you find. And sure enough, there were some good shots in there. There was some unusable stuff, but there was some really cool looking stuff. Just try it. You don't know what you'll find.
Now, Steve Turtle, you actually, you're more of a script person, right? So you plan some of your things. Is that something that you're keyed in on too?
I try to plan my shots. Sometimes to get the shot, you have to make a difficult shot. Sometimes you are looking into the sun. You don't get another opportunity to, change that direction to get that shot. So you make the shot the best you can. I find that later in the evening's better to do a lot of the outside shots. The sun is high in the sky. Some of the shots are a little difficult, but it just depends. I think the more shots you get, the better off you'll be. And the other thing is, I think Scott said it, the more you do this, the better you understand how you want to proceed in the future. So, you do some shots and you like some of them, you don't like some of them. So when you are out and you're in the campground or you're running around in a state park, you go, wow, that's going to be a good shot. And you capture it. I don't know. I think a lot of it's just experience, learning your mistakes and learning from others.
Last question, since the JAG family was talking about their analytics and you guys are way into that more than I am. What advice do you have about the analytics and how you keep your audience sitting longer? If you just had one good piece before we sign off here, I'd be interested on that. The only thing I was thinking about was, what's that? Wow, that was weird. Steve, go ahead. I don't know what that sounded like.
Well, it's not me. I don't have anything open. I'm sorry. What was the question? I missed.
They were talking about their analytics and how they were taking a drop and then another drop.
I've started doing that more. Is that me?
I think it is, Steve. Go ahead. We'll live through it.
I think I've started using the analytics, looking at the analytics more and trying to understand them. The hardest thing for me is, what is that level that YouTube says is good, and I'm learning a little bit about that from other creators. Maybe we can have a whole live stream about that, but I do see value in the analytics, but you could get overwhelmed with all the information that they give you. So you could go down a rabbit hole looking for all that information. I think the biggest thing is it's a story, and you got to keep people guessing about how the story is going to end. And if you take the storyline, and it's difficult because, you know, you're talking about a state park, or you're talking about, you know, going to see a thing, and it's difficult for the story because it don't necessarily fit the storyline, but you want to, as much as possible, build that intrigue to a point that, you know, there it is, and then you know, end the story. It's difficult. I still find, you know, it hard with destination videos and things like that.
One thing I would say about analytics, I've not heard anybody say this, it's just something I've stumbled on, is when you see a dip, it's not always the dip where you find the information. It's where did they go after the dip? The dip might be there because they're skipping to something. So don't just focus on, well, what did I do bad here? It might not be that you did something bad there. It might be that something really good was right here. What's happening at the peaks too? And then now do less of the dips, but do more of the peaks. Always focus on the positive.
Yeah, I think the one that you want to be very scared of is the one where they're here and then it goes like that and it stays flat.
Yeah,
that means at that point people are like, I'm done. If you can keep it going, you know, that's not so bad.
Dave?
Yes, Donovan?
Did they cover everything for you?
Dave, we're still doing a live stream here, buddy.
I'm great, Donovan. Thanks.
Well, the only thing I'll give advice on is that just try one thing different. You don't have to make all these changes all at one time unless you want to just take a month or 2 months between videos. But seriously, just do one change. Try the 5-second thing during your B-rolls and then see how that feels. See if you like your video better. Remember, it's about you, not just the analytics. And I think that's something else we have to remember. We're not really building just for analytics. We're also building for ourselves.
I have something I'd like to talk about real quick here. Since our first video, the JAG family, talked about it's hard to see the story while videoing and making it make sense in the video. It's hard to put it all together from thought to video. I can relate to that a lot, and I go through this a lot of times. You get it all through, and then a story starts to kind of unveil, but you're thinking, I wish I had something more. Use some voiceover to kind of piece that story together. I'm going to have to do that right now for our video for Thursday night. I've got a good story to play out, but I'm missing a lot of talking bits that I need to make it cohesive. Don't be afraid to go back and film and talk some more and add it in later. Do it next to your RV, then people won't know where you are.
Good point. Very good point.
All right, so I guess that's the end of our show. But what I really want to tell you is please don't forget to check. If you want to see your video on the show, email vidliftinfo@gmail.com, submit the video link to your video, and then tell us what minute you'd like us to cover. Thank you guys so much for being here. You guys are my favorite. Oh, yes, Steve?
Real quick, we started off with 5 subscribers at the beginning of the show. We're now at 29. It's a new channel. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for subscribing. I appreciate it.
I'm terrible at that, so thank you so much, Steve. We all love you. I want to make one quick message so y'all can remember the chant. Let's lift each other up and learn together. Thank you so much for being here, and we hope to see you next time.